Hello everybody, welcome to today's stream. Let me turn the music down a little more. We can go ahead and turn that one off and get on over to the main playlist. Just make sure that's balanced. There we go. Okay, let me go ahead and get the correct things up. There we are. Yeah, cool. Oh, it's a little misadjusted. Let me go ahead and set that to today's goal. Level design. Scoot it over a little too. And it's a little whatever. OBS is being funny. Okay. There we go. Anyways, welcome to the stream, everybody. Welcome. Today is, like I said, pretty self-explanatory. We're working on a beach level. I've been doing some testing, trying out some new mechanics, and critically I've been working on a lot of the visuals and props to sort of bring this place to life. So here is what I've got so far. Whoops, hit the wrong button. Let me make that new editor window. Yeah, so it's trying to open something that would be quite slow. So here's sort of a nice little beachy aesthetic. We've got some sand castles, which you can either shoot or step on them to flatten them. We've got these palm trees with a really bad-looking sprite that I'm going to have redraw. This is a little building. Probably not really going to use this, but this was just to test out some of the textures. We've got a big old sand castle. I'm thinking I'm going to have a stage that's sort of centers around a sand castle. I just need to find ways to make it a little bit more visually interesting, so it's not all just the same, like, repeating texture with different shades. Like, maybe it'd be a fun idea to have, like, little sand knights, little details like that to make it a proper sand castle. And then here's something that I'm pretty pleased with, the train. You've got these doors that open and close whenever you get close. I want to try to figure out how to make those smoothly animate so it doesn't just slam open, slam shut. Something a little more thought out. But you can also shoot them if you want. And then we've got these train seats. It's the most detailed thing I've made for this game thus far. And they're still pretty basic. You got like a little guardrail and you can sit on the seats. And this is called Grok. He's a dude who just doesn't do anything. All he does is hang out on the seats. You could shoot him. You probably shouldn't do that, but you can. And they come in all sorts of different colors to help populate the train, make it feel a little bit more alive. You can barge on through. And we got different colors of train, just to give it a little bit more visual variety. So you can see, you know. We got these little windows, too, so you'll be able to sneak inside. Like, I've got an idea for a stage that's going to take place on top of the roof of trains, and it could be a fun idea to, like, dart inside and out using these windows to, like, jump out, jump onto another train, and that sort of thing. I think it could be a really, really fun level. And, like, for that one, I'm thinking the skybox could be, like, moving really fast, so it looks like you're like, zooming across the top of the ocean, which I guess we're in the One Piece here, which is pretty fitting. For that idea. I should talk to the chat real quick. Hey there, Pax, Danlore, Sentry, Peppermeister, Akai the Creator, and Max Does Stuff. Yeah, it's a very good thumbnail indeed. Hey there, Tumblewed. Okay, so this is something I'm pretty excited about. This is a surfboard, and if you step on it, then it'll, you start surfing. You'll even bounce across the death plane. You can see it leaves little particles behind before it lands down. And something that I've done with these that I think is going to be really fun, not only do they go pretty fast, so you can charge up a gravity dash, and then right before it lands, you can zoom, and you can just go flying. You get a ton of momentum with them. But I've also set it up so that way when you stand on one, it can launch other surfboards. So this is just a dummy. And none of the enemies really work for it too well right now. But to give you a bit of an example as to what we can do with these, let's grab a Gunther, put him right here. So what you can do is stand on the surfboard, and then you and Gunther will go flying, and you can have like a big, cool like flying duel as you're shooting at the enemies and stuff. I think that'll be really fun. Now the one downside with this is that none of the enemies can actually do anything right now on the surfboards because their projectiles just can't keep up. So what I'm going to do is probably make a sniper-type enemy, where if you're in their line of sight for, like, say, 5 seconds, then they automatically deal damage or just instantly kill you. I'm not too sure. I'll probably save the insta kill for like a boss variant later, because I know I've got an idea for a level in the third world that would center around like a sniper type mini boss. So, anyways, that's the idea. Kind of like an archvile, I guess, where you stay in their vision and they set a little fire on you and explodes. So that kind of new enemy would suit this surfboard action pretty well. So that's what we got to work with so far. I've got an idea where I want like some sort of train obstacle where you can get run over by train things or some other element. And that'll probably be explored more thoroughly in the second stage, because the first stage I want to mostly focus on using the surfboard and getting the most out of this. Seeing what we can do with it. And some other ideas I've got for stages. On top of the surfboard stage, a more train-focused stage, and then like one that's a big sandcastle with some kind of a prominent mini-boss as you're going through different parts of the big old castle. Like maybe there's a train running through the castle, and you gotta take a detour inside and fight all the dudes. I think it'll be really fun. Progress looks awesome. Well, thank you. Do you plan to make harder/special versions of the regular enemies? Well, I did try that a little bit, actually. If we grab Bouncer in particular, he's got a variable here called Ultra, so this turns him into an Ultra Bouncer, which just makes him really fast and very tanky. I'm still a little mixed on as to whether or not I want to carry that over into the final game, just because I think it could be potentially annoying to just have like tankier versions, so they'd probably be more focused on just being more powerful rather than being particularly like bulky. But I've toyed with the idea. I'm just trying to figure out how to make it work in a way that I think fits, you know? Like maybe a Doom Eternal style like buff totem where it's like an enemy appears that will buff everything around him and you have to go and kill that enemy first. Something like that I think would be fun. As long as it probably would just give them buffs to like speed and stuff. As long as there's a way to counteract that buff if they become tanky. Anyways, that's what I'm thinking for that. So, already just put you down, and I already forgot he was there. So, a couple of things that I'm thinking that I want to do with this is I want to start a level in a fairly enclosed space with just the surfboard. So you step out onto it, and it sends you flying, bouncing across the ocean. I think that'd be a really fun way to kick off a stage. And then I've got another idea where maybe there's like a bar where the surfboard will like bounce you into something. So, like it'll go underneath the platform, but stop shooting me. So, like, the surfboard goes like this, and there's a platform here, but if you don't jump, then you'll just get, like, knocked off of it like that. So you'd have to jump over that, either land back on the surfboard, or just land onto a different platform. Because, frankly, I don't know if you could really land back on the surfboard. I don't know if that's particularly feasible, because these things go pretty quick. They do kind of mess with your momentum a lot, so I don't really want to have players trying to land on and off of them when they're already moving, because I can see that just being pretty frustrating. Can I play checkers with the Ultra Bouncer? I mean, no one's gonna stop you. I don't know why you'd want to. He's not very... He would just eat the pieces. Anyways, this is what we got so far, and we're gonna take some of these ideas and just see what we can do with them. Just explore them, and try to put that into a semi-coherent level. Let me just make sure that I've got this named correctly, so it'll respawn. Yes, I do. Okay. So, first test I want to do, I'm gonna go to the cube grid. Set from actor. Let's make that 200 block size. So I'm gonna put a couple of tests just to see what happens if it collides with certain things. So let's put a bar somewhere around here-ish. Just see what that does. Because I'm imagining that'll either go cleanly under it, or... Okay, so that one wasn't quite low enough to knock me clean off. So what if we lower that by 1, and then get rid of the top level? Let's see if this does anything funny. It might hit the surfboard. Oh. Ugh. Well, I got clipped through the surfboard. Okay, well that's janky. Whoa. Okay, that was odd. Okay, so we're gonna have to be careful with that, because that seems like that's very easy to get janked. Yeah, the surfboard just wants to hit that, and then it'll just stop functioning entirely. Let's go ahead and clear these out. Let's try 100 by 100. Oop. Yeah, let's just try a 100 by 100 section. Maybe that'll be a little thinner so that way the surfboard doesn't just break entirely. Yeah. No, not quite low enough. Let's lower that by another 100. Ah, okay, that's perfect. That's what I was looking for. Let's see if you can jump over that. That might be, because if this works, then that could be a really fun idea. Kinda. What if we go ahead and get rid of that top section so it's just this 50 by 50? I feel like this would be a good way to sort of use this mechanic. Ooh, that's pretty fun actually. That works pretty nicely. Lines up pretty well. Okay, a little janky, like you sort of get stuck on it. So let's see if maybe to make that a little less jank, if we just select these edges, and that isn't. No, okay, no, it's correct. It just looks a little weird. Alright, so let's see if that slight slope makes that a little bit more natural feeling. Wow. Oh yeah, you can more. Okay, with the slope, it's more easy to sort of sail over it, which is good. That just kind of feels nicer. Wow. Okay, that's pretty sick. I like that. Do you have a melee weapon yet? I have two. I've got this, which does pretty good damage and launches enemies upwards, and I got this, which costs no juice, and you can spam it, but it's got low range and low damage. So this is, wow. So that's like a desperation option. Those are the only like melee options that I've gotten kind of planned for. I also got this weapon, which I showed off last time in case you missed it, of the fling, and like launch a little grenade. It still needs some testing and stuff. Like the visuals are obviously also not done, but I think it's getting a pretty fun place. It might just be a little too powerful, because if you can get good at like lining up your angles, it might be like way too powerful. So I need to be a little careful with it as to how I balance it. But we'll see. Okay, so I think we've got a pretty decent idea as to how this surfboard mechanic works. Oh, that's kind of a fun interaction. Oh no, the surfboard! I sent it careening. One thing about the surfboards is that they are a little bit buggy in some places. Yeah, like that. Certain things it just doesn't seem to like. Like, what if I detonate it? No, that seemed to be fine. But certain things will, like, if it, like, gets hit by certain objects, like, it collides with things, then that can, like, screw it up and sort of send it off of its path, where it stops, like, working properly. It's mostly okay, but there is definitively some jank to it. Yeah, see, like right there, all I did was misalign it a little bit, and then it got an extra bounce where it shouldn't have. So that is something else to consider for sure. Okay, well, I think now we've got a pretty decent idea of a couple things we can do with the good old surfboard. So let's go to Maps, Train Yard, and we're going to go ahead and copy-paste this stage over, just so we have the same skybox and all the assets and stuff already loaded in here. And we're going to call that Train Yard 11 Proto. Okay, and then we're going to go ahead and open up the level blueprint and adjust a variable. Can't see that, but it is just going to make this a lot easier to edit for ourselves. Make sure the song's turned off. Yep. Okay. Coolio. So first thing we're going to do is we're just going to get rid of pretty much all of the cube grid output. Don't really need it. Okay, actually, whoops. Still deleted Death Plane. Gonna have to get rid of a little bit more than I remembered, because there's a lot of props and stuff in here. Nope. Keep accidentally deleting the ocean. Also, it might be a little hard to notice, but I've changed how the Death Plane looks for this world. It's a slightly different material that makes it look more like, you know, the ocean. I'm probably going to give it even more drastic changes just so it looks more ocean-like, but functionally it's identical to how the Death Plane works in the other areas. but I want to make the death plane a little bit more of like a prominent gameplay function, because I think that'll be pretty cool. Having some kind of like interplay with using the death plane other than it just being a death plane, I feel is pretty unique. Like most games kind of just have the death plane be the thing that kills you. And that's not really a problem, but I think it's a cool idea to take that and make something a little bit more out of it. We're going to hit shift... No, we're going to hit F10. We're not F10? There we go. And then shift F5 to open up the cube grid. Make sure we've got a nice focused view. Let's just have a foundation. We're going to clear that. I'm going to set the frame origin to 0, 0, 0, just make sure it's consistent. Front block size to 200. Alright, cool, cool. And we're going to start by just making a foundation that everything else can be built off of. And that's just a little bit above the death plane, so that'll work for now. Yeah. Okay, so first thing I'm thinking we want to do is introduce the player to the surfboard mechanic and give them an idea how it works. Could add maybe like scissors. I've thought about that. I don't really know what they would do though, right? Like, I guess they could be another kind of chainsaw weapon, but I kind of already have something like that. And generally, melee weapons I don't think are going to be as good as long range, since, you know, killing something while you're running up to it is a lot faster than running up into it and then killing it. And generally, I also think that ranged combat, at least for how I've coded things, is going to tend to be more fun than melee. So I want to have, for sure, focus on ranged combat. Okay, so as I was saying, I want to start with a little enclosed space. And then I'm going to extend this out to make a beach. Little beach island. Yeah. So let's say the player starts out right here. Maybe we'll even give them a little bit more room to run around. This will be a nice starting island for them to stand on. Then they head on down to the beach, see the surfboard, and then they can go surfing. Yeah, I think that'll work pretty nicely. I did the thing again. I don't even know what causes it. It's so annoying when it does this. Okay, source actor is none. I'm not trying to... Okay, it keeps thinking that I'm trying to edit the death plane. Okay, what about now? You want to work now? Yeah? Okay. Alright, we're in business. Not being annoying anymore. Okay, gonna go ahead and rebuild what we just did. Maybe make it even a little bit wider. And then extend this out to make beach. Cool. You know what? I think since the level's going to be going that way, we're going to go ahead and pull the starting area out a bit. Probably around here-ish. Yeah, something like that, just so we have a bit more room to work with without having to make the death plane, like, triple the size. Okay, we're going to go to interactable, level stuff, grab a surfboard. We're going to go to rotation, set that to 90. Make sure it's not stuck on the ground. Let's get that centered. Okay. And I think we can keep the launch to default. Whoop. Although the default player start's still all the way over here. Let's go ahead and get that fella right out to where it belongs. There we go. Now we start here. Oh, I don't have any lights in the level yet. Oops. Actually, it shouldn't be showing up as black. It should be unlit. Whoa. Okay, I think I set up the launch direction the wrong way. Let's set that to 7,000 here. Here. I still coded it a bit jank, I'm realizing. Yeah, okay. I'll fix that so that way it looks the correct direction next time. Now real quick, I'm gonna try to see why it's not working. Oh wait, no, I know what I did. Yeah, I've got a variable called color, which basically lets you adjust the tint of surfboards. But yeah, I want to keep it as the default, so that way it isn't just like a black void. I need a parry. See, the problem with a parry is that in a game that's so focused on projectile combat that it kind of just like it destroys a lot of the game balance. You know, you can kind of just reject. You can say, "No, that didn't happen. I'm good." And a big part of the balance that I'm trying to do and the way that I want to design this game is factoring in players who get good. I mean, obviously it's a speedrun game, right? Somewhere around there would be good. It's like a launch pad. Yeah. Anyways, and a parry is a pretty like straightforward way of asking, hey, shatter this game's balance in two, because you get even halfway decent with a parry. You can kind of just shut things down pretty hard. And also part of it's just that I want to rely on more unique mechanics. Like parries have gotten a little too ubiquitous, you know. Like I want to focus on things that are more unique and different. Yeah, not quite. Keep losing track where I am. There we go. What if we trim this back by a couple? Maybe that way we'll land nice and flat. I might have to also just lower the height of it a little bit so that way it lines up more evenly. Yeah. I think if we lower this by about one block down, it should pretty cleanly arrange itself. Bounce. Oh no. Okay, see that now we overshot it. I think this is probably going to be the downside of the surfboard mechanic, is that actually placing them is going to take a lot of trial and error. It's okay. It's currently embedded in the depth plane. Let me just do that slightly. There we go. So there's going to be a lot of, just like testing to see if the surfboard works, going back, trying a new angle. Just barely too far. Hold on. I think we need to extend it out forwards a little more. So we want it to just like naturally, perfectly land and come to a stop right on top. Damn it. Just a little bit more. That might have been a little more than a little, but we'll see. Okay, hey. Nope, hold on. We're gonna get this. It's gonna line up perfectly, and we're gonna get a smooth slide. It's gonna work. Count on it. Yes! Look at that. Flawless. Do you remember Cool Zone Zero? I do. I'll answer the other questions, but I'll get back to that. Hey there, Mr. Jonas. How successful do you expect your game to be on release, if you have any idea, and what would you consider the minimum for success? Well, I've got a couple of different metrics as to what I would consider, like, successful. I mean, I think what I've done right now is a pretty major success, going from, like, nothing at the start of the summer to near end of summer, and I've got, like, over 1,000 downloads on the demo. That's amazing. That's insane. So I'm currently kind of... I'm doing pretty well right now. But for a full game, what I would consider to be a success, it kind of depends, I guess. I don't have a super clear-cut definition as to what would be and what wouldn't be successful. Like, I think there's a pretty broad range of what would and wouldn't be a success. But I would say that the sort of an immediate obvious factor is, if I can make enough money off of it to sustainably continue doing game development. And I think to comfortably be able to do game dev full-time after this, that's the hope, but we'll see if that happens. I would need to make I probably won't say a specific amount of money, but a pretty decent chunk of change, so that way I could live and do game dev. Like that would need to be what would happen. That's basically what I would consider a major success, is if I could do this full time. Like if I could make it, if it could be that successful. And I should clarify, I don't really think that's particularly likely. Just as a first time, like, major dev, do I really think that it's gonna get to that level? Not really. But, you know, we'll make it as good as we can, and let the cards fall where they may. Alright, let's go ahead and extend this slope out. And this is going to be something I do pretty frequently, just to ensure that, you know, the player doesn't get stuck if they miss a surfboard. Like if you step on, step back off, or you get stuck on the death plane. And you can use these little boardwalks as a bit of a recovery method. Yeah. There we go. Okay, now you've got ourselves a nice little introduction to the surfboard mechanic. Bounces you up off the water once, and you land, maybe have an enemy here ready to fight, that sort of thing. What happens when a surfboard lands on a slope? Kind of just lands there. It's not as exciting as it sounds. Thought the New World was going to be a jungle train yard. I mean, it is called Tropical Train Yard. But it's a beach area with a train aesthetic. Not a train aesthetic, with trains also being a major part of the theme. But this stage is more leaning into the beach shtick. Hey there, Eraser Paste. Anyways, so to answer the question previous about Cool Zone Zero, if you guys don't know, on my itch.io I have another game that's publicly available alongside Void Collector, and that is a little game called Cool Zone Zero, which was made in about a month as a little RPG in, keep saying little, as an RPG made in RPG Maker, mostly as a way to get my bearings when it comes to game development. Just like a really very small project, super basic, super simple, just a way to get my feet wet and make something, just make anything, really. Because for the longest time when I was doing game dev, I never actually finished a project, and I wanted to change that. So that was the end result was Cool Zone Zero. Very simple, short RPG, not great, but, you know, I'm still a little proud of it. I think it's kind of hard to not feel some sort of attachment to something you've made, even if it's not amazing. You know, you put enough of yourself into it, and, you know, it's just something that you really do care about. Oh, damn it, it was editing the wrong thing again. Anyways, so yeah, Cool Zone Zero is a little game I made. Short, pretty simplistic. A lot of battles. You can kind of just like find the one optimal strategy pretty quickly, and it works on like 90% of fights. Although it is like, if you don't follow that exact thing, it can kind of be like impossible almost. So it's you know, it's got its fair share of issues, I'll say. But, you know, it's also free, short. Check it out if you want to. Okay, I don't think I've been commentating what I've been doing. So what I'm doing right now is working on an exterior for the train, for a train section. Because I want to introduce both of the gimmicks, so being the train stuff, which is like, you know, close quarters, kind of cramped fighting, and then also having the surfboard mechanic. So this part's pretty simple. You do the surfboard. We'll probably have a little combat section here, and then you go into the train, and you can have another combat encounter in here. And I'm thinking that what I want to do is have the player sort of weave through a train, and then something that like leads up to another train car up here, maybe, and then that leads to another surfboard that will like launch them like down and then back up, kind of like that one part in Sonic Mania's Chemical Plant Zone Act 2. I see Surfboard I watch stream. Surfboards are awesome. That's kind of where the whole surfboard mechanic idea came from, is that, well, I mean, it's a beach level, so, you know, obviously there's got to be some sort of cool surfboard mechanic. But, like, a lot of the time I realize that the mechanics I come up with are purely just like, what do I think sounds like it would be fun, you know? Like a surfboard, yeah, that sounds fun, why not? Put it in. Let me just check how long I made this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. Yeah, 16's about how long I want it to be, including entrance and exit. I just happened to get it right on the first guess. 2, 3. Then we're gonna go ahead and extend these out to 1. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. There we go. Okay. Do you have any ideas for a game after you finish Void Collector? I had too many. Too many ideas. Too many. I've got a, let me just... I've got a fast-paced, like, 2D platformer where you have this sort of explosive move. That's one that I've had for a really long time, and I've always wanted to pursue. I've got an idea for a, like, really customizable, like, beat-em-up brawler game, where you play as a robot. That one I want to do. I've got so many ideas for a Void Collector 2, even before Void Collector 1's done. I've got, like, just so many places it could go. I've got the idea for, like, a murder mystery game in the works. I've got a follow-up to Cool Zone, the other game that I've made, which would be a lot more in-depth and have a really cool... What? That's not supposed to happen. The surfboard is broken. What? Why are you doing this? What are you doing, surfboard? What? Where'd that come from? Yeah, it says invisible. It shouldn't be, turn all this off. Yeah, but now. What? Why is there a cube? That shouldn't be there. It doesn't even exist, basically. Okay. What if we give it, like, a... Is there a material that just, like, doesn't exist? What if I just don't give it a material? Can I do that? World grid material? Did that do anything? No, I just made it the world grid material. Why do you exist? Why is this cube just here? If I give it translucent, unlit sprite material, what do you do about that, huh? Oh, okay, well now it has this. That is so weird. It shouldn't be showing up as visible, but it is. That is so strange. I'm gonna assume that's probably just gonna go away when I reset the engine, so I'm not gonna worry about that too much. Anyways, so we've got our first section. You bounce across the water, land here. You're gonna have some sort of fight inside of this train. Then we're gonna have a cutout right here. Whoop. Let's discard the changes real quick. Make sure we got the right thing selected. Go. Actually, you know what? I don't want this to lead into another train car. I want this to lead back out into the open. I realize now it's kind of looking like just the same thing, but it is not. It's not. Yeah, so it's going to be another little island. Oh, whatever. I'm not gonna. I was gonna try to make it look thicker and give it some slopes on the sides to make it look more beach-like, but we'll do that later. Right now, we just got to worry about the layout. That's the first and foremost. So then we could have some sort of a combat arena here. And remember, right now we're just doing, like, basic layout, like, just getting the fundamental stuff out, just the shape, structure, and we're gonna worry about the detailing and the specifics of figuring out what the shape of the combat arenas is gonna be and what the enemies and stuff, all that we're gonna do once we've got our base layout in place. Sick rhyme. So here's a bit of an idea. What if we have a sandcastle right here, and you can use the roof of that to jump up onto here, and then maybe something else that goes here or here. I think that could be pretty cool. I like level layouts that sort of loop in and around on themselves too, because that means that there's more potential for letting the player come up with their own cool strategies. It just sort of inherently makes the game feel a bit more freeing. So let's go 1, 2, 3. Yeah, something like that will be good. Oop. 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Yeah, there we go. Good shape and structure for it. There we are. Real Minecraft hours. Not even just Minecraft. This is real, like, 2012 Minecraft, when it's all, like... Like, I imagine this is all made of, like, cobblestone. We extend this out like so. Yeah, this is gonna look extremely Minecraft. Oops. I'm gonna entirely delete that slope there. I think that looks about right. Then close it off like that. Okay, so you'll go in here, maybe fight an enemy in this sort of closed quarter space, run on up, jump onto the roof of the train, and you know what? I think I've got an interesting idea. What if we put a surfboard right here on the roof? Got a rotation of 90, negative 90. Let's give it a launch of negative 7,000, should be about right. Let's give it a slightly lower Z launch. Let's go ahead and set this to current camera location. Oh, now the sprite is... Oh, right. Dumb. Wait, hold on. So this one looks correct, but then that one doesn't, for some reason. This one's bugged, but that one is not. Thanks, Unreal. Appreciate it. Appreciate you. So goes it, and then mounts. Mounts. You know what? I think there's one other thing that I want to program. Yeah. So what we're gonna do is get, we're gonna make a new variable called DeathPlane Bounce, and we're gonna make that a float, and hook that up to the launch velocity Z. So this variable, what it'll do is that whenever it bounces off the death plane here, that variable is going to adjust what height that it bounces back up off of. So we're going to give that a default value of 700. But what that'll let us do, you have to expose it first so we can edit it out here. If we go to the details panel, we'll see that that variable is now showed up as death plane bounce. And let's give it about double the height. So that way it'll like come from a higher spot, and then it'll have a higher bounce. So what I want to do here is have the player bounce off of it, and then somewhere around there, when they're in the apex of that jump, I'm thinking that it'll be really cool if they have to jump off of the board. You know, do a kickflip. Imagine Wood Collector with Minecraft textures. That'd be very easy to do. It'd be very, very simple. Okay, real quick, this is just for science, but I wonder how fast I can make these go before, like, everything just breaks. So the default speed is 7,000 launch. So what if we give it a velocity of 1,500? Oh, that was slower. That was less fast. Yeah, like, this is faster, even though I made it... Because it's negative 7,000, which doesn't mean it would go backward. Well, it means it goes backwards at that speed. What if we just set it at a positive 7,000? Because then we'll go this way. Yeah, seems about right. What if we set it to 15,000? Nope, not 15,000. It's a little bit over double the speed. Yeah, it's pretty quick. We're still on it. I think if we jump, we're still kind of stuck with it a little bit. Oh, okay. So it doesn't take too long to get sailing past the death plane. Let's make it 25,000. You know what? Make it 30,000. There's no way I'm gonna be able to stand on this, right? Like, it's gonna send me careening off. Oh, no, it works. It works. Okay, well, in a single bounce we go past the death plane. How fast do we have to go before we just can't stand on it anymore? Like, what if we make it 45,000? Like, that's absurdly fast. There's no way we're gonna be able to stay on it. Holy shit. Okay, somehow we're still on it. How does that... How do we not get sent flying off? Bye, Surfboard. Oh, holy shit, I went past the skybox. Oh no, it's too fast. We're still going, by the way. We haven't, like, lost momentum. We're just going insanely quick. Okay. Let's try 90,000. That's 900,000. 90,000. Okay, I think we might have hit the speed cap, because it doesn't seem like it's going any faster. What if we make it 900? What if we just keep adding a bunch of zeros? Like, surely we're gonna hit the cap at this point, right? Oh, no, there's still more! You can keep going! Okay, so in 1 millisecond, you get teleported immediately to, like, the absolute furthest reaches of the map, way past the bounds of the skybox. Huh. Well, this is, No, my surfboard... Oh. I dashed and then it disappeared. It vanished. Alright. Science. Gotta just keep adding more zeros. This might crash the engine at a certain point. Okay. So it's trying to access my everything. I think what happened there is that it went so fast out of bounds that the player just got, like, deleted. Yeah, like, everything freezes. I think I went so far out that everything just, like, dies. Okay, well, that was a fun experiment. Set it back down to negative 7,000, which, by comparison, is gonna feel... Yeah, that feels extremely slow by our new standards. Can't believe you're even allowed to put beaches in games after D-Day. Imagine if you ride on the waves. And that's what you're doing now. I think it needs 100 Sheilas. NASA Surfboard. Yeah, just going outside the realm of the observable void collector. Okay. So, here's what I'm thinking. So you have a bounce on the surfboard, and then that's what I'm thinking. You're gonna bail off the board and then land on something. And that's you'll continue the stage from there. So let's get an idea as to how far out we can go, and where the surfboard's gonna land. Actually, let's keep it around this height. And let's give it a block step of 1. Yeah, just put a nice long line across, and we'll... Go. Let's just see where that takes us. Okay, so the board itself gets stuck to it. So let's try making that ever so slightly lower. Okay, so we go up and over. Okay, not bad, not bad. Now, what if we extend this out a bit to give the player something to land on? Because part of the idea with this is that I want the surfboard to keep going. Oops. I want the surfboard to keep going on without me. And then you can land... Did I make 2 outputs? Oh, I did. Damn. Go ahead and get rid of that. Keeps things more tidy. Get back out. And I really wish it would stop doing this thing where it just, like, starts spawning in static and mesh actors. I gotta figure out what the shortcut for that is so I can stop it from happening. So you go bounce. Then this goes sailing over. Okay, okay. Now here's a bit of an idea. What if we have a little gap that the player can't go through, but the surfboard can? I did it again. Anyways, okay. Here's the idea. Here's the concept. Here's the vision. We gotta find, like, a perfect little window that the surfboard will go through, but the player won't. Nope, that's not it. Okay, okay. What if we lower this by 1? We'll figure out the bottom bounds first. Hit. Okay, okay. Pretty good, pretty good. And then what if we lower that? So let's see if that 100 by 100 is, or 200 by 200 gap is large enough. Oh, how'd I get over here? Okay, so this should... Ah, dang it. Okay. Hold on. I'm thinking. What if we make this slightly more precise? How about that? Okay, come on. Yay, look at that! Wait, where'd the surfboard go? Oh, it's still going! There it is, you can see it! It's bouncing away! Oh, that was perfect! Oh, excellent. Okay, alright, let's make something to catch it so it doesn't just keep going forever. That should probably catch it. So that way it'll bounce. Nope, it's still going way too fast. It's so fast. Alright, I'm just gonna put a wall up. I don't know, I'm trying to be sneaky about catching it. I'll just put a wall up. Trying to be too clever. And this game was a metaphor for the flaws of anarcho-capitalism. I don't. Can't say I do. I do wonder sometimes with, death of the author and all that, you put something out there and people will make what they want of it. I wonder if there's gonna be, like, a really pretentious, like, YouTube video essay that's, like, the secret hidden depth of Void Collector, what it really means about being human. Anyways, that works. So we got our first surfboard section. Whoop. No, it broke! Oh, it broke because I adjusted the position of the death plane. Right. I'll have to adjust that back to normal. Oh yeah, I guess I don't have a way to get up to that section now, do I? Yeah, because I didn't cut a hole in this section. Oops. Alright, let's cut out a door here. So you go into the sandcastle, you'll run it up, bounce on this guy, and then head on over through here, and you can have a new exciting combat section in this this bit of the level. I kind of like the idea that you progressively bounce higher and higher with the surfboard. I think that's a cool idea. Like, let's say this section is its own sort of combat arena. And then you'll, like, loop around, head up to the top of this section, and then bounce off a surfboard again, and then land on a higher section, like, up here or something. Maybe even, like, to make it even more interconnected, you go up, like, here, and then it goes down, bounces up, and then lands up here, and you have another combat arena. Something like that, where it's, like, really interconnecting these different sections. It'd be so cool if you could jump off the surfboard and grapple it back to using the gimme. I mean, actually, this is a pawn, which doesn't mean anything to you guys. Basically just means it's something that you can, much like the death plane, you can use it to gimme to. So what you could do is you can gimme to it. So I don't know how imminently practical that is, but you can do it. Yeah, it doesn't quite give you as much speed as you might need. And if you double gimme. The only problem is that if you try to land back on the surfboard, it kind of, like, messes with your momentum quite a bit. Yeah, or you can do that, where you get in front of the surfboard, and it just shoves you really hard at Mach 10. Sometimes. I'll admit, it's a little jank. I'm not perfect. This is some strange timing, because last night I dreamed that Steve Strike knocked me off a surfboard and I drowned. Racerface, you might want to talk to somebody about that. I had the same thought. Someone is gonna make a video essay about this game. Yeah, it's only a matter of time. I mean, that's the thing. If somebody does make like an annoying video essay about it, that's a sign that it's catching on. Can't you just easily skip the train area? No, because the train area is gonna have enemies in it. And that's why we have the whole gotta kill all the enemies. So that way it's sort of an easy way to ensure that the player will actually play all of the level. It's more interesting for routing and stuff too, since I did get a decent amount of people suggesting that, like, oh, you should make it so that way, or you should like make it so that enemies aren't mandatory to kill, just have them like be obstacles. But by making the enemies mandatory to kill, you know, that opens up a lot more. Like that gives a certain limitation to how you play the level, and counterintuitively, oftentimes limitation is, you know, fun. Being limited is a lot more fun than having pure unadulterated freedom a lot of the time, because having limits tends to encourage you to be more creative. I think a good example of this is actually Tears of the Kingdom, and this is something I've thought about quite a bit, where that is a pretty fun game, but almost to a certain point, the amount of freedom you have comes to a detriment, where the tools you have are so powerful and so unlimited that you kind of don't need to engage with a lot of the actual obstacles. Or more importantly, you can come up with one or two solutions that will work for a lot of situations. Where, sort of in essence, because you have so many options, you kind of don't need to actually engage with them. Where you have so many powerful options that you can use just a couple of non-limited, really strong utilities. That's what I'm getting at. I don't know if I got that across well. Alright, anyways, I'm just building a little structure here. Yeah, it lines up pretty nicely. I think this is kind of like a little beach hut, you know? You also just do that and get over there early. Don't know how good that is, because you're still going to need to fight the enemies over there. But you can do it. Now, one test I want to see. This is one of my patented intentional speedrun skips. Yeah, okay, you can get me up there pretty easy. I think I might even make that a little bit easier to hit. Because there won't be any enemies down here. So you could jump up here and fight the enemies slightly ahead of time. Just make that a slope. Ooh, that's pretty cool. I like that. I like that a lot, as a matter of fact. Okay, let's go over here. Build a similar pillar. Alright, there we go. Cool. Ooh, I should put stuff like this on stilts, you know? Like, I've got this section right here, which I'm calling a boardwalk. Because it'll look like a boardwalk, basically. I've shown that a little bit in the preview version of this level, or the testing world. But you know, something like that to make it feel a little bit more real, almost. Not quite, because it's, you know, it still looks the way it does. I don't think anyone's gonna be mistaking this for reality, but. Okay, should be a fun pit stop here. Let's even extend it out this way so we have a little bit more room to work with. And this is, not exactly sure what I'm going to put here, but this will be its own little arena. When the surfboard gets caught, could be a surf shop. That's a good idea. That is a good idea indeed. Really fun way to theme it. Imagine if the surfboard could kill enemies. Or maybe. It'd be funny if you just randomly plopped capitalism bad in some areas and capitalism good in another. Yeah, I'll just take no stances ever. I'll be as much of a fence setter as I can possibly manage. Okay. So we've got this little introduction train section. We've got the sand castle. You got this shabounce. We'll have some enemies here. And then I think we'll have another board right here. So you'll bounce down, up, and then over this boardwalk. So we'll grab another surfboard. Put it right around there. So what? Actually, first thing I want to figure out. So right now we've got pretty basic use of the surfboard mechanic. We've got an introduction. We have a brief reprieve where you go through the level as pretty normal. You go through some you fight some enemies. You see some other like parts of the level theme. You jump on up over here. You jump on up over here, and then we have this section, which we'll use it pretty differently, because you can either just get taken off the board normally like that, or jump and get up to here to skip walking up this side manually. So question is, what do we do with this section, right? Like, how do we make this mechanic? What else do we do with it? Because I'm thinking that this might be a good time to use the bailing mechanic, like the idea of trying to jump and then land back on it. Maybe that might be kind of cool, or just have like a board you have to jump over. That could be interesting. First things first, we're going to try giving this a launch speed of 5,000, and say about 100 Z launch. That might not be quite enough to get it off the ground. Let's see. No, it works. Okay, only problem is you do collide directly with the boardwalk. See what happens if we give it a little bit more Z. Nope. That exacerbated the issue. What if we give it 50 Z? See if that's quite enough. Yeah, it gets you under it. It's kind of cool, I suppose. Give it a slightly slower Z launch. That's actually pretty fun. That's pretty cool. What if we increase the bounce here, though? See if that maybe is a little nice. Oh, no. What if we decrease the speed again? Because I really want to get that, like, sort of perfect, clean bounce underneath. Now, we need a little bit more speed, actually. It's a little too sluggish. Let's try making it 4,500. Ooh. Oh, that's really great. I like that. That is quite fun. Quite ridiculous viewpoints that nobody would agree with or comprehend. I do kind of like, if I'm gonna have like some sort of a message in a game, and it's not like sincere, I love the idea of like doing something that's just like blatantly ridiculous. Like, obviously nobody would agree with. That would be very funny. The only concern is like, what if people actually think it's real? And that would be a concern. Like, if I did something like, I don't know, I did some Joker tier, we live in a society bullshit, and then somebody like believes it and then thinks that I'm like horrid. That is the one concern, I would say. Alright, let's extend the block size out a bit. And just make this platform here just as a nice base. See if this is capable of catching us after we go bouncing off the board. Wow. Oh, shoot. Too high. Too high. Too fast. Too high. Lower the speed. Let's lower the height. Ever so slightly. Because that feels like a pretty nice place to try to land on. Nope, that ruined everything. Maybe that could be a good bail. Like, you go down, over, under, and then have to, like, land on a small platform. That could be another interesting way to use the mechanic, perhaps. Perhaps indeed. Make it a little bit wider and a little bit longer just to give a bit more of a grace period as to... Oops. Accidentally editing the wrong thing again. Actually, this is perfect. This is Abandoned Beach from Kirby and the Forgotten Lands, which this is a beach. This counts. Okay, it's doing this thing again. Wait, what? Why didn't the surfboard? Why are you not bouncing correctly all of a sudden? It didn't use the right launch. Wait, 50? Why are you 50? It's supposed to be 2,000. Wait, no, that is supposed to be 50. I'm stupid. The death plane bounce is supposed to be 2,000. No, okay, hold on. I said you to 50. Why are you doing 2,000 now? Okay, Unreal is not wanting to cooperate. What are you doing? Like, what are you doing? Why is this what you're doing? I mean, I guess it worked. It did perfectly carry me over here, but why did it do that? Man, Unreal. Sometimes. Much as I love this engine, sometimes. Embrace botulism. See, that rules. Wow. Why are you doing that? Stop that. Oh no, I just said it wrong. I did indeed set it wrong. I'm a moron and a fool. Whoa. Why didn't it work that time? That lineup has worked every other time. I was too far back. I see. I could make some of the boards smaller. Bum bum ba bum. Bum bum ba bum. Bum bum bum. Just like to encourage you to stand on the right spot. Oh, see, there I bonked my head. And that set, like, the bouncing off completely wrong. Yeah, I'm gonna have to be careful with this, because it can be pretty finicky if it, like, doesn't like the angle that you're going at. Why is this not... why is that adjusting it like that? That's weird. Anyways, we'll make this board a bit smaller. Yeah, because I don't want that sort of thing to happen. Oh, not too far forwards, it fell. Nah, it happened again. Darn, man. Darn diddly darn. So if I step forwards... okay, forwards, if you're forwards on the board, then it works. I just shrink the board down so it's a stubby board. But if I make it stubbier. So I want to make sure that the player doesn't, like... you know, if they step on the back of the board and they don't realize that's a problem, and then, like, that happens, like, that's gonna feel pretty annoying. And I'd much prefer that not be an issue. I could just cut a hole in that section. I should probably do that, actually. That's gonna be a lot less frustrating. Is that lined up? Probably lined up. Yeah. Because I feel like that... I should be trying to reduce the possibility of jank as much as I can. Like, if there's something that can go wrong, it probably will go wrong at some point. So, you know, let's might as well, like, not be too risky with it. If there's something that's pretty easy to change, then let's just change it. Okay, what happened there? What happened there? What? What did I hit? Yeah, see, sometimes it just bounces the wrong way. I couldn't tell you what causes it. It's one of the annoying things with some of the launch functions in Unreal is that it feels like they can be a little inconsistent. Yeah, like there. Why did it do that? Why did it launch... like, why did it, like, not get the right height? But only sometimes. 'Cause it seems like even if I do the same thing twice, it doesn't always do the same response. Yeah, I need to find a way to make that a bit more consistent. Because clearly it's not the most consistent. Actually, I bet I know what's happening to it there. Okay, well, I don't know why it's doing this. See, like, why is it going to the left now? To the right, I mean. It doesn't have any boost to its Y value. Okay, see, then that. What was that? Why did it get so much height there? There shouldn't be any code that causes it to do that. It's just deciding that sometimes, like, it just wants specifically to mess with me. All right, we're just gonna note these down: 4,500, 50, 2,000, and we're gonna put a new one in because I think maybe the scaling, it didn't like the scaling or something. That might have been it, perhaps. Yeah. Okay, that works pretty nicely. Whatever. If it does the job, it does the job. Yeah, we're still chatting about potential fake ideologies to put into a Void Collector. I'm liking it. Kind of nonsense, like, just bullshit we can spew about nothing. Okay, so I'm gonna put some little stealth on this building, on this platform, make it feel a little bit more natural. Even extend them down into the water. There we go. And then I'm gonna probably do another smaller platform just to catch the other surfboard. It kind of just goes flying out into nowhere. We don't really want it to be bouncing around for forever out in the endless plane until it goes flying off and ends up going to de-rendered nonsense land. Because I do think that if something goes far enough out, it just like crashes. Because there was one person who they just like left. They went out past the death plane because that's not really that hard to do in this. Pretty easy, as a matter of fact, to get past the death plane, especially in the current build. I changed the death plane so that way, you know, it would boost you upwards. But I added a speed cap so you can't go like flying quite as far anymore. Like it still kind of can, but it's a lot less absurd than it was. Just because it kind of made a lot of things too easy. Anyways, so somebody just like went out of the death plane and then just waited for a while to see what would happen. And apparently after like 11 or so minutes, their game just crashed. I wonder if it's like, I think it was like an old Minecraft thing where if you went far enough out, like you could crash servers. Because like you would just make the file size of the world too big or something. I don't know if that's true. That's something that I've heard. Obviously not a current common issue. Did that catch it? Yeah, it does catch it. Just to make it a little bit more nice, though, what if we set that platform up so that it's a little bit more even where it catches it? It's like extend that by a couple, de-extend that by a couple. Whoop! Clicked on the wrong thing. There we are. So you go down, bounce through the boardwalk, jump off to land on this platform, and then it lands pretty nicely on that little piece of something. Alright, now my next challenge... Oh, it thinks I'm trying to edit the death plane again. Don't want to do that. Let's pull it in by a little bit. Just a skosh, just a skosh. There we go. I'll move the death plane again to put some little sticks on that. Okay. Oops. Okay, yeah, so you're gonna bounce down, land on this, and if you don't, then you'll go over here. So you'll lose time because you'll have to climb up something to get back to the section, I'm thinking. Like, we can even just do a really pretty simple approach. Just grabbing a ramp, sticking something right here. Oh, that's a lot lower than it needed to be. Is that too high? That is too high. So we hold on. Nope, wrong button. There we go. Okay. So now we got that. Then we can extend this across. Oh no, now it's too low. Whatever, whatever. I'm over it. I'm over it. It is not centered. Oh well. Okay, so now it should be pretty straightforward, so you can land on the surfboard, go across. Oh, that does kind of bother me that it's not centered. I'll have to fix that. Oh no, it gets caught by this. Okay, here's what we're gonna do. Here's what we're gonna do. I don't have the thing selected. There we go. Yeah, 4 on each side, 4 on each side. That's what we're looking for, baby. Then we can get this section, extend that up, and now we can rebuild the slope. Okay, now it should be a bit low enough, so that way we don't have the same issue. Okay, so now if we jump off, it should go sailing and land right there. And in case you miss it, it's not a major time loss. But you do have to climb back up, go up this slope. You lose a little bit of time, but it's nothing too major. Maybe something to do with the limit on doubles and floats? I mean, it shouldn't be that. You know, it's causing the surfboards to jank out. Because I've got them clamped. So that, if anything, they should be consistent, because they will always bounce within a certain range. They'll never, like, go above or below a certain amount. Like, they can never bounce at nothing. Like, they can never get a 0 bounce. Although I wonder something that could be happening. So there's a bug that I've known about for a bit with the death plane that I've recently fixed, where if you go through there we go. Trying to get it there. Something that can happen is if you went fast enough, you could clip straight through the death plane, especially with the gimme and the gravity boost. And that's pretty annoying when it happens, because you could just sail straight on through. And the problem is, you could go so fast that the death plane is made of 2 parts. It's made of this texture, which is just for visual appeal, and then this section, which is the actual collision. So it's made of these 2 individual components. But the problem is, the player could go so fast that they clip through this initial part of the collision, and then just sail straight on past. So, I'm thinking what might be happening is that the surfboard is getting past it, and then it's hitting the box. So the solution I found was that once I would have a sort of a failsafe. So if you went through here, you would land on this, which would be solid collision, and I'd run a separate piece of code that would launch you back up when you hit it, like as if you had collided with this. So basically, there's 2 different ways that the death plane would function, and I'm thinking maybe what's happening is that it's not applying that to the surfboard. That's my best guess. Now it says when component hit cube, it does the surfboard. Now it is applying the bounce of the surfboard. I forgot I coded it like that. So it should be running the code consistently. I just don't know why it's not. Ooh, that's a potential issue. That is an issue. Since it's launchable, you can mess with the... Yeah, like you can use this to like mess with its velocity and stuff. And that is an issue to worry about for sure. I'll have to code in an exception for those, that way they can't get launched by other things, just in the respective code for each section. Because you could pretty easily like accidentally misalign your entire trajectory, which I could see being pretty obnoxious. Okay, so let's make another surf shop right up here. That's the wrong section. Let's make a doorway or something right here. Something like that. I think this one's gonna be pretty interesting. I wonder if maybe the only concern I have now that I'm like actually stopping to think about it is that maybe the surfboards are like a little too linear. Like you can kind of only interact with them in one sort of clear-cut way. I guess maybe that's not really true, because you can dash off them, you can jump off of them. At the very least, I think that'll be a pretty fun level for a first playthrough, but my only potential concern is maybe that the surfboards are so, like, static in how you interact with them that it might not make for the most interesting interaction. Like, you can only sort of use them one way. Yeah. Okay, that works pretty good. Lower the ceiling a little bit and see if that still works. This kind of feels like an amusement park ride, you know? Like there's like some sort of elaborate theming to it where it's this placed on the static mesh actor. I need to figure out the shortcut for that. Where it's like you go exciting through different parts of it or something. Yum. Alright, so surfboard, mounts, yeah, and bonk your head on the ceiling there. Okay, I think that works pretty well. Let's use a bit more of the train stuff, why don't we? Will we ever do any gaming streams or any other type of stream? You know what? Let me actually ask a question, because I don't know if I'd have a ton to say. But we'll do like no, whatever. I'll just ask you people normally. Would there be any interest in like watching something like that? I don't know if I would be good at it. I've done it in the past, and I didn't have a ton to comment on. I feel like with game development streams, I just have more to say. But, you know, if there's enough people interested, I'd consider giving it another try. Do you have CCD enabled on the character in the surfboard? What is CCD? That probably gives you your answer. Continuous collision detection. Oh. Continuous collision detection with objects at high speeds. Huh. Yeah, I've never even heard of that. So let's see, it would probably be used for the main collision. Use CCD. Let's just try that out, see if that fixes anything. But no, I didn't even know that was a thing. Appreciate the CCD. That's another great thing about doing these, is that there's so many things in Unreal that I don't know that some people might just know about. Oh, okay, well that immediately broke. Will it do that consistently? No. Okay, well it immediately didn't work. Shoot, man. How about now? Okay, so that time it worked. Light speed objects going through colliders. Yeah, that's what I was seeing. I'll leave it on for now to see if it does make a difference. But I'll try using it on the collision. Maybe that's where it's more important, is if it's on the fast-moving detector rather than the fast-moving object. But I'll also look into that more to see what it's like specialized for. Wait, this one again. I think it's stuck looping. It's just sort of going through the same part of the list over and over. Let me reset. I feel like it just never picks. It's never picked into the King of Fighters songs, I feel like. That's a darn shame. Why no sand? Because we haven't textured it yet. There is a sand texture that exists. I just haven't put it in yet because I'm trying to figure out you gotta figure out the layout first before you start trying to make it look fancy. Okay, well we'll leave a CCD on the death plane and see if that does anything. If that just like works, that would be fantastic. I mean, right now it kind of seems like it's working. Real quick, I kind of want to try something a little different here. Let's grab this section. Then actually, no, we'll grab this whole surface. Oop. I know somebody had asked what happens when you landed on a slope, and I guess I've never actually tested that. I assume it would just land normally. But it might look a little janky. Let's see. Oh no! I sloped it too much! I overshot. Yeah, let's try a slightly less aggressive slope, because that one, it was sloped so much that it hit the death plane again. That sent me bouncing. I guess I could just call it the ocean, I guess, because I mean it is still the death plane, but it's the ocean functionally. Okay, see, so it did double bounce there again, but it did work kind of. Okay, so we go through here. We'll go through the train section, fight some enemies, probably fight somebody on the roof of the sandcastle. Bounce up here, go to the surf shop, run on up through here, fight some more doodads. Then we'll get another surfboard bounce here. Oh no! I tried to walk off and I got clipped to it. Alright, but now we're up here. We can do another combat section on that building. And remember, this is the first stage, so I think that that's probably about enough to like a point where we can call it. So I'm thinking that either have the end portal up here or in a more centralized location that you can loop back to after you've done everything else. It's removing objects, so it does nothing on a still collider. Good to know. Good to know. Okay. Well, hopefully that will help at least make it more consistent, if nothing else. How big of a stream delay do you have? Holding up my finger, 1. I'm gonna see how long it takes. I might just not also respond to messages for a bit, because I get pretty, like, focused in on development stuff. I'm looking back at the stream. Okay, seems like it's probably about 15 seconds. That is kind of a long stream delay. It is kind of long. I try to keep it lower, but I think my internet just struggles sometimes. Okay, so we've got this section. We've got a boardwalk. We've got an introduction to the train stuff. I think maybe we need one more train section, and then we can probably call it there for the level. There's like a train right here, maybe. Yeah, sure, that works. 2, 3. And we're gonna go 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4. Well, I gotta measure. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Where am I? Where'd I put it? Right there, right there. Okay. I'm a little blind. Okay, so we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. Okay, then we'll do another set of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. Except I'm thinking we're going to have like a sort of a hole taken out of the side of this one. So you'll zoop sort of maybe this way, perhaps. It could be kind of cool, kind of interesting. Perhaps. I'm just trying to think how exactly, how far I want to go and how difficult this level should be, because this is World 2. So we don't need to worry too much about it. Like, it can be, it can afford to be about the same difficulty as, like, a 3 buildings or a big windmill. Forget to count that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. Maybe we can have the end portal in this train car. I think that'll work pretty well. Let's go ahead and count out how high this is. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So 4 from it. Is it 4 from it? Make sure I just counted that right. Yeah, okay. I'm just dumb. I was saying something. I'm a forgetful man. Okay, so let's build out the rest of this train car. See how that looks. Why does it keep saying there's problems with action, main menu utility? So it's just trying to, it's having difficulty saving the main menu, I guess. Alright, I mean, I only made like one very small change. I don't know why Unreal's freaking out on me. I guess there, probably to some extent, jank is kind of an inevitability. Like, I was playing, I don't know if you guys know the Spark the Electric Jester series. Odd name, but very, very, very fun series. Especially 3. 3 is the one I was playing the other day. And it is probably the best, like, it's basically a Sonic game. And it is, I'd say, the best Sonic game made since, like, Generations. And it was just made by one dude. Very fun game. But the issue, not really the issue, but something I noticed when I was doing another playthrough of it, was that there's a lot more jank than I remember. Like, there's weird things where the health bar kind of is a little weird, or like you stand on certain enemies and it doesn't like that and everything kind of breaks. Not really breaks, but, you know, just kind of janks. Janks is a better way of putting it. And that was kind of like a reassuring thing to me, because, you know, obviously my game's got some jank to it, especially as my first project in Unreal, like my first large project in Unreal, really. You know, you're gonna have bugs, you're gonna have problems. It's... Okay, see, what was that? What was that? Why did I get hit by the death flame there? What? Huh? You're gonna see, things like that are gonna happen. Man, that's so weird. What did I slightly thicken? Just to make sure that it doesn't actually accidentally get me into it? Maybe that'll help? Perhaps. Perhaps, maybe, potentially. Yeah, but there's so many games that have jank to them. Like, just about any video game you play is gonna have some, like, major weird bug that you run into, some kind of, like, massive sort of, like, maybe there's something that breaks saves, maybe there's something that, like, you can clip out of bounds pretty easily, and you can kind of just destroy the entire intended progression of a section. You know, there's all sorts of reasons that, that things like that can go wrong. Now this, I don't know why this is happening. I don't know why this is happening consistently all of a sudden. Let's take a look at the code and really think about it. Because it's, so for bounce, which is the event that plays whenever it lands on something, is it'll take the actor's forward vector, which is your X and your Y, and it'll launch the surfboard by that velocity. So my guess is that somehow it's getting a small amount of Y velocity, and that is then getting added to it when it shouldn't be. I suppose I could do this. So make a variable, and we'll call this X launch. X launch. It's already in use? Oh, it is called, yeah, X launching. We'll make that a Boolean. What if enemies are in walls? I don't know how that would work. Coding time. That's true. We're coding. Okay, so we're gonna set that to be false by default. And what we're gonna do is set up a branch. How do I want to do this? Yeah, we'll set up a branch. And if X launching is true, then it'll only launch us on the X value, and then yeah. Okay. Hold on. I'm thinking. I'm cooking. So here's what we're gonna do. If X launching is true, then it'll run this code, which will only launch us with the X velocity in mind. And if it's false, then it'll only launch us with the Y value in mind. So this one, we'll set X launching to true. And theoretically what that means is that it'll never have the ability to go on the y-axis, on the y-axis, if you will. So that, I think, should prevent it from being a problem. And this one is set to false, so this one should only ever send us on the y-axis, and it should never ever be able to send us on the x-axis. Theoretically. Ah. How about making the surfboard fall faster when charging the gravity boost? That is a cool idea. Sort of giving you a level of agency over how you use the surfboard. The only concern I see with that would be, like, how would you clearly communicate that, you know? Like, how do you make it obvious to the player that you can push it down faster? Because, like, something like this, you know, if you did that, then you'd kind of mess with a lot of the consistency you'd get. And I could see that being pretty obnoxious. So it would have to be figuring out how to, one, make it clear to the player that they can do that, and two, somehow make it not feel too wildly inconsistent, you know? But I like the idea. It's a cool concept for sure. I am going to lower this by 1. Oh, is that too low? I think that's too low. Yeah, it's not going to... Yeah, damn. I could just give this a slightly higher bounce. Oh, that's going to mess with everything else, though, isn't it? It's not going to get caught properly, I imagine. Yeah, we can fine-tune it later. I'll do that. I'll do that in my own time. Okay, let's go and unpin you so you stop hanging around. Okay, let's give this a little run through and just see how this feels to go through where it is right now. So we get a nice bounce off of here. Oh! There we go. Minor fix. One other thing we can do, actually, is... how do we want to do this? I think I'm going to split the struct pin. We're going to get world rotation. So something you've probably already noticed is that on the surfboards, which for some reason I still don't know why these textures are showing up, it'll turn the wrong way, because I've only coded it to work one direction. So what I should do is get the world rotation, and we're going to split this struct pin. And what we're going to do is... all we want to do is change the roll, which is like this. Because we want it to, like, whenever you hit the water, it'll slightly angle backwards, which gives you a really nice feeling of, you know, it sort of helps enhance that vibe. So, yeah, that way it works, and then it doesn't land properly, because I'm going to have to apply this code up here, too, for when you land. Get rid of this old code, and set this up here. And set the rotation on the roll to 90. So now what it should do is it will properly angle upwards and back down when you land. Perfect. Perfect. Okay, so next thing I want to figure out is why these weird boxes are showing up. Now it's this box, this cube, that if we go ahead and search in the details panel, we can see that it's got a tick set to invisible. But for some reason it's still showing up, even though it shouldn't. I guess the material should just be to come up with a translucent material, which I think whatever. I'll just do that. I'll just do that. That seems like it's a pretty straightforward solution that I'm just not taking for some reason. Let's go to textures, level textures. Yeah. We'll just grab something from the casino. It doesn't really matter too much. We'll grab dark wallpaper. And we're going to... first things first, we're going to rename you to MI. Stop telling... I moved it up to try to, like, save... Stop! It keeps chasing me. What are you doing? Okay, I know you have an issue saving it. I'll get there in a second. Okay, we're just gonna call it MI invisible. There we go. Okay. What we're gonna do is turn off the texture. We're gonna give it the tint alpha of like 0. Oh, I don't have an opacity thing in here actually. I'm stupid. I'm a fool. Yeah, it doesn't work. We're gonna get rid of invisible. And we'll just make a new, like, regular material. It doesn't have to be anything complicated. Let's call it M material. Okay. And this is all very simple. Like, this is all just code I've got for another material. Don't need any of that. All we need to do is make it translucent, plug in a parameter to the opacity, and make it 0. No, not M material, M invisible. Okay, so if we go back to the surfboard, then we should be able to just give it invisible. There we go. So now even if it bugs out and you can still see the texture when you shouldn't, then it'll work as it should. Perfecto. Yes, we run up here, jump on over to this building. I need to probably make that jump a little less tight. Then we get here, bail onto this section. That was perfectly timed. Then we'll fight some more enemies, get another big bounce here, maybe even jump off early to fight some dudes up here. Ooh, okay, hold on. New idea. So you'll go through these 2 normal train cars, and then something that leads up to the roof. And you can fight another guy on here. And then, yeah, get the normal part. Maybe making the surfboard slower, showing the player how one bounces with the player on it. Bounce. Oh, okay. You're like thinking maybe it actually is affected by like what's on top of it. That is a cool idea. I just worry about like consistency, you know. Like if it that could make it feel kind of inconsistent. Like if you jump up at certain points and then it would land on certain points. And in a speedrun game, consistency is really important. Although I think the idea of like a physics-based sort of surfboard is a really cool concept. I just think maybe it's a little too like complicated to work in like a speedrun context. Like if I lean too far into that, it might be not super fun to work with. Whereas I think like a physics-based thing that's a constant movement tool, like the physics-based usage of the detonator is, you know, it's not the most complicated thing, but it's a consistent tool that you have that you can kind of learn how to use those quirks. Whereas if it's a mechanic that's only used for a couple of stages, that sort of inconsistency could feel a little bit more frustrating. That's kind of the thought I'd have with that, but I like the idea. It's pretty cool. Okay, so I think maybe this level does feel a little barren, but I guess it's, you know, it's alright. It's not exactly finished nor textured yet. I'm thinking. I'm considering. Indeed. So I like the idea that there's an enemy here that you have to shoot. Let's try playing around with this a little bit. Let's put a Gunther right here. So you're gonna bounce, and then we can loop around up here, fight him. Pretty straightforward. It's pretty simple. Although I'd really realized that his sight radius is a lot smaller than it should be. It's give him 10,000. Is that 10,000 or is that 100,000? That's 100,000. Instead of 10,000? 10,000. There we go. So you can go across here. That is kind of a nasty shot, actually. To make that, like, kind of required to get a Voltaic Plus, that is at the start of a level. I mean, I guess at the start is kind of, you know, it's better than at the end, because you can, oh, that is mean. Sand time. It's not sand time, we're not done with the layout. We gotta do other things. We will throw sand everywhere, though. Don't you worry. Don't you worry. Gunther, baby, let's go! Appreciate the Gunther support. Okay, so we're gonna have a Gunther right here. He's hanging out, he's shooting you, he's trying to kill you. He's a dastardly guy, he's a dastardly fella. We'll extend this out a little bit. You know, we can even this is I think this is a fun sort of contextualization. I was thinking we'd have like a wall here, so that way if the player jumped, they'd go flying, but they wouldn't go flying way out into the death plane. So how about instead of that just being like a wall, we can contextualize it as like a billboard. So I'll make like some sort of graphic to put on here, like an advertisement. I was thinking one idea I had was like Gunther Cola. So something like that could be like right here. That kind of fits like the beach town atmosphere too, doesn't it? Like it's like an advertisement. That's the kind of thing you'd see, some sort of like tourist trap, you know. Ooh, wait, that's actually a sick idea. Like a little shop that sells like merchandise of the different characters and stuff. Like a bouncer who runs the store. I like that idea. I feel like I'm gonna definitely have to do that. Yeah, you got a little billboard there, you got a gun. Then we can do some combating inside of the train. Now, the collision on the train stuff is actually pretty important to put some of the details and props and stuff in first, since that will actually pretty dramatically dictate how you will play the stage. So let's go to props. Train yard, and let's get the subway. I don't know why I call them subway, because it's clearly a train. And let's go ahead and rotate you guys. It should be 90 or negative 90? Negative 90. There we are. Go ahead and drag that on over to the wall. Probably fit 2 or 3 of these in here. Yeah, pretty comfortably can fit 3. There we go. Feel like that's a good height too. Kind of low to the ground. It gives you jump on them and sit down. Take a nice little evening. Okay, so let's go ahead and copy paste these doodads on over. Make sure it's aligned too. I think it's should be about there. Okay, that's about here. There we are. Cool. Then we're going to copy paste this again. So we're going to set the rotation to 90. Pull it on over. Oh, it's misaligned there. Okay, make sure it's nice and lined up, nice and even. Give them symmetrical. Then set it up over here. Cool. And then we'll do the same thing right over here. Okay, so now we've got the train interiors. Looking nice, looking clean and snazzy. Put a really tall palm tree somewhere for no reason it does nothing. That's a good idea. Is there HD shitty sand? Well, I figured out how to make the textures look less shitty, so it's just HD normal grass. Gunther Cola would finally justify the at least 3 drawings I've made of soda cans being thrown at VC characters' heads. Why have you drawn so many... Why have you made so many drawings of people throwing soda cans at their heads? We love train levels in games. Train levels are awesome. Train levels are just fun. I guess this one's less of like a standard train level where it's like, you know, you're not running around like a moving train. But it's a train. It still counts. Now the question is, what do we put in this train? Who do you gotta deal with in this train? First, actually, or lest I forget, put some train doors in here. Let's get it right smack dab in the middle. Which I think I should probably lower the roof. No, I just need to make the door larger. Yeah. So let's get this right in the middle so we can scale it up correctly. There we go. Make sure that feels right. Whoa. Oh, I see what I did wrong. It's not coded to work properly at that angle. Lol. I'll fix that I'll fix that later. Okay, so that's one set of doors. Really love that line straight down the middle. Makes it very easy to figure out where these should go. There we go. Oh wait, they're all misaligned a little. Whoops. Just fix that so it's nice and even. Okay, looks good. I mean, you know, good is relative considering that the doors don't function, but they will look good, which is what really counts. Okay. So now the question is, what do we put in here? And, you know, it's a cramped space, so my natural inclination is to say that we should use the guys that work best or are most dangerous in close quarters. So let's put a, here's a concept, here's an idea. Put a cuboid right here, blocking the door. And then we'll put a Steve right here. What if we put him up on the seats? He looks like a manlet in the seat. He's so tiny. Oh shoot. Okay, so they can see you through the doors. Why is there a Steve there? What? Where did you come from? Okay, so they can see you through the doors. I kind of thought they couldn't, but I guess they can. I kind of like him sitting on the seat. Funny. Where am I? Okay, let's put a Gunther right there, and let's put a bouncer here. I think I want to make it so they can't see, so that they cannot see through the doors. I think that'll just probably be more fun. Yeah, I imagine that like being able to like slightly see what the upcoming obstacle is and being able to do something about that is just gonna feel just a bit more fun. It kind of leads to like these ambush rooms where you can like you just like have these constant like stream of like combat where you have where like it just starts at the same time, and I think that could be a really fun idea, especially for the for level 2, which is going to be much more train themed. Like this one's very, very focused on the beach stuff, and the next level is going to be way more focused on the train stuff. Maybe a little small. I think maybe we could do a little bit more with those, but I'll put the enemies in first. I tend to try to overthink how much stuff I should put in levels, when really a lot of players seem to like it when it's more streamlined. At least that was the feedback of the survey. Is like a lot of people seemed to like not even seemed to like, outright said that they liked the stages that were more focused. Which is why 3 buildings was the least popular stage. People tended to find it a little frustrating and a little too large and too open, whereas they preferred the more streamlined sort of focus designs, comparatively. You know, let's just see about how long it would take to go through this whole level in the intended progression. Because I think a good length for most stages should be somewhere in the ballpark of like, for like a non-speedy run-through, should probably be in the ballpark of like, not super long, just a couple minutes. Not a couple minutes, like a good run, like fast run through of a stage should probably be somewhere around like a minute and a half, the maximum, maybe 2 minutes. Yeah, see, this is kind of showing me that maybe this one could be a little larger. I mean, I'll see what it... Stop doing that, man! Stop doing that! How do you get Y speed? Where do you get that from? Like, something is offsetting it so that way it goes... Like, it gets Y speed. I don't know why. Like, where... Like, how is it veering off to the side there? What's causing that? What could be causing that? Like, it doesn't happen super often, but it happens often enough to be really annoying. Maybe it's like the type of collision that it uses? I just don't know what could be doing it. Yeah, okay. I'll have to look into that more. Else at another time, at another date, at another place. I'm gonna extend this out a little bit, just to give it a little bit more dimension, and this will also help making this jump just that touch bit more forgiving. Can also add some whatever these are called, castle things. Oh, I don't have. It's not even. Not even. I'll just. No one's gonna notice if I just like. Sure, it's fine. It's fine. Don't worry about it. Is it even here? No, it's not even there. Whatever. That'll do. That's our sandcastle. It does the job. It does the job indeed. Okay. So you'll go up here. Jump on across. Die. Then we're gonna surf across. But you can even jump right up there if you really get your timing down. Okay. Feels pretty smooth. I think it's 351. You try making the surfboard kinematic. I have not. There's clearly a lot of things about physics I don't know how to do. How would I do that? Just type in kinematic. Is it like physics type? No, that's pick group. Yeah, how would I make it kinematic? Cause I don't really know how that would work, physics-wise. Thanks for the help, by the way. I really appreciate the suggestions, especially on technical stuff. Like it's easy to use, not easy. It's relatively straightforward to like come up with level designs, but when there's something that you just don't know why it doesn't work for physics, like why it just sometimes works and sometimes doesn't, that's so frustrating. So really appreciate the suggestions. Using the echo enemies. I'm not sure none are real. Gotcha. Maybe there's a different component. Okay. I'll look into that in my own time. I'll take a note to do that. But for the echo enemies, so that was something that I coded a while back where I could make, there's like gray versions of enemies that don't actually, like you don't actually have to kill all of them. And I might still use that, but probably for more like cinematic sequences, like maybe you're I've got an idea for a section on the final level where you're on a surfboard and you bounce down and like a bunch of Gunthers and Steves and Cuboids are shooting at you. But it would be annoying to actually have to kill all of them. So that would be, those guys would be echoes. So I still have plans to use them, but they won't be really that common, I don't think. That could just, generally I feel like that can end up being more annoying when there's just a ton of enemies, but I do intend on using them still. I just haven't found a great place for them yet, but, you know, I'm thinking about it. I'm aware. Wait, if I put a Sheila up here, you're gonna be able to see her shield through the roof, right? Let's have her attached to Gun. So if you go down, you should be able to see. Yep. Wait, that what that means is that you could do this. No, hold on. You could do that and break the shield from below. Yeah, so now she's up here all dizzy. Actually, there's another function that I haven't shown off much. I showed it off at the beginning of the stream, but in case you didn't catch it, something that I coded with the surfboards. One of the things I'm pretty happy with is I can set it up like this. So you can set something called a launch partner. So what'll happen is when you get on a surfboard, it'll launch another surfboard alongside it. Which I think is pretty cool. What if I set it to be each other's partners? Well, will it increase the speed on both of them? Will it double launch them? No, it does what it should. Okay, that's pretty cool. That could be kind of an interesting idea, actually. Let me test this real quick. If I put two boards right next to each other, does it break anything? No? Oh, you can run across them pretty smoothly. So that could be interesting. Like, there's a section where you have to do like a long run across the surfboards. Like, there's a whole line of them or something, and you can like run across. That could be pretty cool. That could be pretty fun. I might not do too many more enemy stuff, because I do have enemies in, like, some new enemies in mind that I want to introduce, so I should probably not go too far right now, just because I don't know exactly how I'm going to be using those yet. So I think what I'm going to do is do a bit more, I'm going to lower the death plane a bit, just so we have some space to work with, and then I'm going to do some visual tweaking, make this area look nicer, and then we're going to start texturing. I think that'll be a good sort of place for today. Is there a way to... Kinda. Just trying to think about how I would what's like the best way to smoothly fill this out. Because that kind of works, but then you got this. Whoops. Forgot to save my actual changes first. Yeah. I'll leave it as is for now. I'll figure out how to do like some nice corner texturing a little bit later. Because I know there was a way I did it before that I just cannot remember. Yeah, I'll do that off stream. That's gonna be a little tedious. Anyways, go ahead and start by building these guys up. These are gonna be little support pillars. You know, like what you'd see on a boardwalk. Just to help sell that kind of vibe. We'll go down by 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5. I think that'll look about right. And we'll just put these kind of sparsely. Don't need to put them too much. Still sort of gets the idea across. Maybe like having to change boards to avoid a wall throwing off. Yeah, like that'd be really cool. Like if you have to like dash in between them while there's like bars going above you and you gotta avoid getting swept off. Like that'd be sick. That'd be so sick. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then we're gonna put another couple here and there. So like maybe one here, one here, one here, and then of course another one on the corners. There we go. Okay, so now what we want to do is set these up on the opposing sides as well, and pop them up. There we go. And get these propped up all nice. There we go. Now we've got a little bit of detail to help make it feel a lot more like a boardwalk. Yeah, even just like that little bit extra detail really helps sell that kind of vibe we're going for. So, next thing I want to do, I'm gonna trim this. No, I was editing the death flame that whole time again. It didn't work. No. I gotta do it again. I hate when I do that. Okay, we're gonna do is save our changes as we go this time. Just to avoid the constant annoyance of accidentally deleting everything. Just save ourselves any future headaches. Go. Okay. Remember, so keep updating it. Don't just, whenever you make major changes, don't just like keep going. Make sure to go back and save it. That way we don't have to keep doing this over and over and over. Alright, let's keep building out the boardwalk. And go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Boom. So I do, I've talked before about how I think limitations are really, really important. I mean, I think any creative would really agree with you on that limitations are a cornerstone to creativity. Like, having limits really sparks you to think differently and consider every angle. And that's kind of the cool thing about the cube grid, I find, is that it is simple and it is kind of limited. But especially as somebody who doesn't really have a whole lot of experience in environment design, it's a very, very helpful tool that I appreciate having quite a bit. I think I'm gonna put another boardwalk here. So what, 3 wide? 2 wide. And sort of the fact that the tool is a bit limited makes it more useful for me, because it forces you to consider like how you can use this limited tool more effectively. Whereas if I had essentially like an unlimitedly a ultra powerful tool that could do basically whatever I needed it to do at any time, that would no doubt be convenient. But at the same time, I think that could be detrimental to have almost no limits. So the grid itself, not only does it make environment designing and layout designing, mocking up environments, not only does it make it infinitely easier on my end, it also sort of constrains me. Okay, anyways, I didn't explain what I was doing that whole time. So a potential thing that you could do in this is, like, let's say this happens. Oops. Oh man, I walked off the surfboard. Why did they go low that time? This engine, man. This engine. This code. Okay, now it's happening consistently. Why is it doing? Oh, because no. Sorry, Unreal. Not your fault. It's because I lowered the death plane to test stuff. My bad. I'll take that back. I'm retracting my statement. But anyways, in case you accidentally fall off the surfboard, this is just here as like a little safety net. You know, just kind of feels nice to have. Alright, now what we're gonna do is have some extra pillars here. You know, kind of like how you see on those homes that are beachside, is that they don't want to, you know, they don't want their home to collapse whenever you get a light breeze coming through. So they're close to beaches, then they're raised so they don't crumble in high tide. So having something like that can help make it feel just that extra bit more real, in a way. I hate the term, but it's more quote-unquote immersive. Okay, we're gonna go ahead and save those changes. This one I think is gonna be an island as well. So there's gonna be islands and boardwalks in buildings. So this is gonna use the building textures, this uses boardwalk textures, this uses island textures, and we're gonna mix those sort of 3 parts together. Okay. Yeah, I think that's certainly looking a bit better. Might lower these a bit. Just a bit. Oh, it's not aligned. I had to get unaligned. The other part's aligned. I don't know why that was different. Whatever. We're back on track. Zoom on over here. Pin that down. Yep. And then we'll do the same to this section. Just so everything has a nice bit of internal consistency. Oh, why is this one not lined? Yeah, I think clearly I missed something along the way where I accidentally got something aligned wrong. What if I set everything to 0, 0, 0? Does that alignment work? Okay, it does work here. Okay. I just messed up something somewhere, but at least we've got... they're both consistent to something at least, so it's not too bad. Let's grab you. Then head on over, grab this corner. Put it down. And there we go. Coolio, Coolio, Julio. That doesn't mean anything, I just... Sometimes just say words. Washes up on the beach like a whale. This does feel a little small, doesn't it? Maybe a little small? I mean, it's the first level of the world. It doesn't have to be anything crazy. We wanna let people experiment with the gimmick without going too far, so it's... I shouldn't be too concerned about it being a bit on the smaller side. Well, we can worry about going a bit overboard on the other stages. We'll keep it very simple here. No reason to go too crazy with it. Okay, so now we're gonna start adding the materials, and we can texture. No wait, I lied. Remesh. Okay. All I did is clean it up so it makes the texturing process a little bit easier. So let's grab a couple of doodads, a couple of things. Let's start with sand. And then dark sand. And then darker sand. Okay, gonna let it accept, because whenever you apply new materials to stuff, it always needs a second. And I'm always worried that if I load in too many materials at once, the whole thing will just crash on me. And I don't want that to happen. Okay, let's load in the train textures. Train 1, Train 2, Train 3. Let's get Train C. Which one is Train C? I don't remember what Train C was. Oh, Train 1 ceiling, that's right, for the yeah, I remember what that's for. Yeah, there's a lot of textures for this one. Train 2C, Train 3C. Then we're gonna get train floor. Yeah, train floor. And then we need boardwalk and boardwalk dark. Okay, then we're gonna let it accept all of those. Give it a second to load. Struggling, okay, and we're back in it. Bum. Oh. Nope. Okay. Getting a phone call. It says scam likely. Not gonna worry about that then. Alright, first what we're gonna do is go ahead and adjust some of the colors of these islands. So these should all use dark sand, and the underside should use darker sand. Oh, it's already using dark sand on top. Go ahead and make that regular sand. There we go. You know what? Before I forget, I'm gonna go ahead and cut these out. Cut this out. Cut this out. Just basically make little holes in all of these sections. And you're gonna see why I do that in just a moment. Because when you're trying to make different floor textures, it's a lot easier, it's a lot faster if I don't have them all connected like this. Yeah, it'll just be quite a bit easier. This one's a little awkward, so I'll just do that one manually. That's fine. So let's go to attributes, and then we can set the textures for this island. These will be darker sand. It's all gonna be darker sand. This is all gonna be darker sand. This is darker sand. The castles are probably gonna be a bit of a pain to retexture, I imagine, since there's a lot of like finer detail you got to worry about, especially with these guys up here. Just go ahead and apply that before I forget. And then we got one more island section over here. Gonna give that the dark sand material, then go underneath. Let's go underneath, give that the darker sand texture. And before I forget, because I'm realizing it still looks the same, gotta give these sections the regular light sand texture. So now you get that good bit of contrast between the top, sides, and the bottom. It's most noticeable generally with the insides here of the castle. Let's give these the darker sand texture. There we go. Julio. Yeah, looks about right. That should be regular sand. And then we're going to go ahead and... Oh, no, everything else is correct. Okay, cool. Then I don't have to worry about doing the rest of that. Let's do the boardwalk next. Let's just grab the top of these. And make that... boardwalk. There we go. We'll make the slope and all of the sides, like all of those, dark boardwalk. This one's also a little bit tedious because you got to go ahead and go around and like grab all the different sides of them and make sure that you haven't left them all out, because it can be a little visually jarring when you have the sort of weird distinction. Includes getting underneath, getting around it, like even getting the bottom. Yeah, we'll just probably be a little faster if we go around sort of in this structure. Get a little bit more of a concerted method to the madness instead of just being madness. Okay, make sure we got the insides picked. Okay, looks like everything's good, so we can go ahead and give that the texture of dark boardwalk, so that way we have that bit of variance. I kind of like leaving the sand texture on top, actually. That gives it a bit of a nice visual appeal, bit of distinction. Okay, then we're going to repeat what we've been doing, just going around, selecting all these faces, and updating them with the proper texture. Okay, and give it the same old boardwalk dark. There we go. Okay. Cool. Now it's looking a little bit more textured. A little less janky. Okay, so let's grab this part of the building, and we're gonna make this train 1. Go. And we're gonna do the same with the interior, where it's also gonna be train 1. This is gonna be train 1C. And then this is gonna be train floor. Yeah. And then what did I call it? It was train... I feel like there's another train I'm forgetting about. Let me see if I have another one that I can't remember. It's just a train. Train. Ceiling? No. Okay, we'll just make these train floor for now, too. That'll do the job. Okay, then we're gonna give the ceiling the train 1 ceiling texture. Wow, what a revelation. Let's also make this the floor. So just for the sake of visual variety, I wanted to make sure that I had different types of train textures, so it wouldn't all look identical. So this one is going to be using another material called Train 2, and this one is this reddish color. So that way it looks more train-like when you have those different varieties of colors together. I'm gonna go Train 2C. Train 2C. And then we can go grab these parts here and map those to train floor. Okay, let's just give that a quick run through and see how that feels so far. So we can bounce up across, land on the slope. Then we've got the train. I think I'm gonna need to give these some sort of wheels or something to help ground it a little bit. See, Bouncer's trying to run me over. I feel like the ceiling should be something different. Okay, but then we've got the sandcastle, and then we're going to bounce on across. We can take a good look at the... Right, definitely still misaligned. But yeah, I feel like that's looking pretty nice. Pretty nice. Okay, let's go ahead and apply the textures of this one. Okay, so let's grab the... How exactly should I do this? I guess we can just use the same, like, train textures for it. So we're gonna go here, train floor. Then we can grab the walls and make that train 1. Right? Train 1, there we go. We can do the same to the other sides here. Make it all train 1. There we go. And then for these little wooden support structures, well, we can make them wooden support structures by giving them the boardwalk texture. Go. Boardwalk. There we go. Gives it a nice little bit of visual variety. Then we can give this train 1. Same deal. We can head inside here. And player's not really gonna see this very well, so we can just make this all train floor. Give it that kind of generic, darker texture. And then put train 1C inside of that for a little bit of variety. And this is also gonna need like a sign of some sort saying like, oh, this is the whatever section. This is the, what's the word? Surf shop. Yeah, little surf shop sign, which will help really bring it to life, give it that extra bit of personality and detail. Those little details can really make a pretty big difference, especially when you stack them all up. I think I like the Boardwalk Dark texture for that more, actually. It looks a little bit nicer. Yeah, I don't think I love the floor texture for that, though. I might make a new texture for specifically the shop floors. This we can make the floor, though. I think that'll look pretty solid with that. And then we're going to go ahead and grab the Boardwalk Dark and just apply that to all 4 of these little support beams. There we are. Okay, alright. Yeah, looks okay. I'm definitely not vibing with the floor texture for that. I'm going to make a new one. And this should use the ceiling texture. Oh, gotta grab this one. There we go. There we go. Okay, starting to come together a little bit. It's looking a little more like a real thing instead of just a collection of shapes and colors. Okay, well, I still have some more stuff I want to do for this, like some pretty big changes. Like, I know that I want to do some more thorough testing and try some enemy stuff, and I'm probably gonna add another section to the end. So I'm gonna call it there for now, I think. It feels like a pretty good place to leave it. Good and productive. Got the whole stage laid out and started work on texturing. But like I said, probably want to extend the stage a little bit, and I want to add a new enemy and incorporate 1 to 2 new enemies in the stage. So probably good to not worry too hard about the design of the stage until I have all the elements in that I want to test. So that's a pretty good place to leave it, I feel. Productive. Thank everybody who decided to stop in. Always appreciate the support. And I hope that you'll have an excellent rest of your day. Peace out. Have a good one.